The Coach James Hale Show.
Do you know who I am?
Live and local inside the J. Michael studio.
People know me.
ESPN Northwest Florida. Filling in this morning, it's Coach Brian Haddad.
Can I tell you how much my head swells when I hear that? And how much Glenn shrinks? But you got your sign.
I know I got my sign, but there's something about having your name called out. Like it cool.
Either way. Yeah! 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 Well, indeed. Substitute teacher is in charge, folks. Coach Hale is away. Actually, Coach Hale's going to be gone the rest of the week. I'll be sitting in for him here. Brian Haddad, of course, sitting in for Coach James Hale. Y'all keep Coach Hale and his family in thoughts and prayers. He's going to be up in Birmingham for a couple of days there. And, we just, want everything going well up there while Coach is away. And we'll try our best to hold down the fort here and keep this ship a-running, as they say. But joined as always on Wednesdays by Dr. Eugene Glenn Manley.
I've been called worse.
As the line I used to use, I've been called worse by better.
That's right.
And, of course, the Wildcat.
Good morning, Mr. Haddad. Thank you
good
for
morning.
coming in.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm having technical issues back here, so I'm
Well, of course you are.
I didn't see a flag thrown.
Hey, I don't throw in the flag or the towel.
Okay.
I just keep stroking till we get going.
A technical issue for Wildcats when he turns up the wrong side of the can.
There you go.
It's the one with the open spout.
I leave the lid on it.
Well, we got a great show planned for you today. Of course, all our Seminole fans love Wednesday because it is Gator Day. We're going to talk to Coach Hudson actually at 7:15 there from Bay High Baseball. Then we've got Dr. Ward going to join us at 7:30, and then of course Mark McLeod, the great Mark McLeod, will be joining us at 8:30. We got a lot to get into. A lot of Florida Gators news actually. Big win in basketball. Got a couple other things that we're going to get into. But we got plenty of Gator talk today, Glenn.
Oh, yeah.
Let's start locally because we had a lot of stuff going on locally.
We did. As you well know, the first flag football game played last night. And so I had two different scores, but at Mosley 20, Rutherford 0, then I had Mosley 13, Rutherford 0. So, and I think they play about a 14-game schedule.
Okay.
The only bad thing about this is I think it's great for the girls because a lot of people in the state have it. But
Agree.
Yeah, we have it during the season where we got softball for girls and girls track.
Yeah.
And then we got volleyball, beach volleyball. So we're pulling most of the girls that are athletes can play.
Yeah.
So then I used to be an expert at writing Title IX stuff. So, but last night over at William Weeks Field at Bay High School, we played Mosley last night, and it was the Blake Vaughn. We had a little ceremony for him. We had a moment of silent prayer. He's a Bay High kid, a student that was in ROTC and passed away from leukemia at a young age. And so cancer color is orange. If you wear orange, and I got a bracelet on today. But Mosley was very kind enough to wear their orange jerseys, the orange tops.
Really
so
neat.
It was really neat. So I'm really proud of that. The only thing is they beat us 6-3. So,
They weren't that charitable.
They weren't that charitable. Yeah, but, it was a really good game. And I tell you what, though, we faced Ryan Harless.
Yeah.
Man, I tell you what a great left-handed pitcher he is. Of course, his dad is Todd Harless, who, when your dad's a good pitching coach and a good coach anyway. So, and then you got Doug Lee. So, you're one of the top ones. He's already committed to sign with Louisville. So he did really good. But I was proud of the Tornadoes. They scratched. And so right there at the end, I think John will talk to you today about it.
Yeah.
We had the bases loaded and we just couldn't get a run in. So, but hats off to the young man who, what great form. And, you could tell that he's been coached well. So, and I had to tell a little story on his dad. He played basketball for me when he was in ninth grade. So they got all their athletic ability from their mom. So I could, if you want to go through that. But no, Todd does a great job. And the only thing could have been better is if Ryan had gone to Bay and worked with John Hudson. But
Yeah.
Doug Lee does a great job too. So.
Yeah, he does.
And if you want to get Doug Lee's little thing there, just ask him why we call him Steve. He'll tell you. Okay. So anyway, all right. So last night though, it was 6-3 Mosey in baseball. South Walton 12. Arnold 0. That was a little shocker.
Yeah.
Bozeman 11. Rutherford 0. It was Port St. Joe 5. Bluntstown 3. Sneed's 12. Weewaw 2. Liberty County 12. Monroe 0. Did not get the Holmes County Mariana game, and I could not get Chipley J score or Grace Hill FAMU score. But Cottondale beat Poplar Springs 15-0. Mm-hmm. It was Freeport 4. Northview 1, and it was Vernon 16, Laurel Hill 6, and in soccer, in boys soccer 5A, Washington 3, Beachside 2. So Washington's in the Final Four out of Pensacola.
They got a good team this year.
So and then 4A, it was Fort Walton 2, Wakulla 1. So they're in the 4A Final Four. It was Santa Fe 1. Catholic 0, so of course, Santa Fe's over by Gainesville. And then, of all things, Rocky Bayou in the 1A, they will be playing in the championship game. They beat University Christian. It was 1-1, but they won in the I call it the Mexican shootout. So, but it was a penalty kicks or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
And then in girls, it was Catholic 1. This is 3A. Catholic 1, South Walton 0. So South Walton and Catholic, they played about 3 times this year. So, And then it was Niceville 3 and 6A, Bartram Trail 0. So congratulations to all those young people. And then one of the things we might want to bring up later on is, IMG just got fined $1.7 million it was not just the state, it was a government thing. They had tuition is around $97,000 there. So 2 young men from 2018 to 2022 came there, and somebody paid their tuition, but it had ties to cartels.
Oh.
But they turned themselves in, and so, they're working all that out. But, that's a lot of money, though.
See, I like that, though, but we're repatriating that money. We're bringing it back to the States, baby.
Yeah,
it's just how you look at it.
I always thought they had connections to China, but, because their volleyball team is so good.
Yeah,
but anyway, that's just one of the things. And we got another topic about one of the football coaches moving in, so.
Yeah, that was kind of one of the big kind of teases all day yesterday when I was listening. I could tell Hale was like, I know something, but I can't tell it, this, that, or the other. But, of course, it has been released now that Bozeman head football coach Kevin Pettis is moving on from Bozeman over to Mariana. After just one season with Bozeman, they were 6-5 last year. Did earn a playoff berth, lost in the first round of the playoffs. I was reading on here. So Mariana parted ways with Coach Jack Glover, who was let go after a 1-9 season. Of course, he was hit with a lot of players left.
Yeah, we know one of them, Maury.
Who went over to Bluntstown and now is headed to FSU and all like that. And there were a lot of talented players that left, so I felt kind of bad for Coach. But yeah, Coach Pettis moving on, so we've really... for a great program like Bozeman, it's kind of been situational the way it's worked out there. It hasn't been, like maybe what we've seen with other area schools that, kind of run their coaches out every couple of months like that. I'm not bringing up any names, but this was just more of a situation of things have popped up, opportunities have popped up. But I think Bozeman's now looking for their third head coach in either 3 or 4 years. Because I know Coach Sweat wasn't there very long either.
Yeah. So he was only there a year, and I think he had family issues. And so then we got Griff. Yeah. We did a really great job, and he moved on.
Came to Arnold,
and then Kevin came, and then Kevin's going. So, we've been through that a couple of times. When I was teaching and coaching at Bayhau, I went through 7 head coaches.
Yeah, wow.
So you can, it happens, and it's unfortunate it's happened right before they're going to get started on spring. So
yeah, and that's the tough thing, and sometimes it's always hard when you're moving on from a coach, especially if you've done a good job, and Coach Pettis had done a good job up there. Right. But, the timing is never great. But, boy, it just seems so rough. We're coming, we're not quite to spring ball yet. But, I mean, I guess it would have been technically easier if it was like beginning of December. You have more time to find somebody, something like that. But I guess it's never easy. But you can't, fault a guy for taking an opportunity that, will work for them. Of course, he spent so many years in Georgia before that as well. But, Mariana's a good job, too. They're in our listening area. We love those guys up there, too. So you're getting a good one there. And, look, the Bozeman crew does a wonderful job. They have a great overall athletics program. Of course, we know their athletic director. And so we know that they're going to bring somebody good in. So.
Well, the thing about that is it's a school in the town.
That's true.
So that makes it really good. And you got some towns right around there. I called basketball for years, and, when they play each other, they're 12 miles apart to Chipley and, Graceville and all that stuff. So what a great thing it is. And I got Coach Oles who keeps me straight. Thank you, Coach Oles. Yeah. It is Mariana 7, Holmes County 5. So that was one of the scores that we didn't have last night.
Thank you, Coach Oles.
Yes, sir.
It's funny. I was listening yesterday. And I heard you guys get off onto the education tangent.
Education.
Education that y'all did. And Wildcat rightfully was bringing up
Thank you very much.
Information. I know. I don't say that very often. But
nobody does.
But was rightfully bringing up the advances that Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana have made at the high school level,
right,
state level, and everything like that. And Coach Hale decided to take it and be very negative about it and bring in the SEC academic rankings. And let me say a couple of things about that, because I was texting in furiously yesterday. First of all, I would like to apologize to Mississippi State, because I do think I was responsible for helping drop them for all of those years that I spent on academic. I was, this is not a joke, and I'm glad that my mother couldn't hear this, but I do think I was told that I held the record for the longest time on academic probation without being expelled. So I do have a record.
Well, everybody's got to have a record for something.
But let me get into this. First of all, my first point. You notice he didn't read Southern Miss on that list. And that's because he couldn't scroll any further down the list. Southern Miss was somewhere in the thousands.
Or he did, and he just didn't want to mention
there you go.
So, they didn't get an F, they got a Z minus.
Yeah, exactly.
But at Southern Miss, they don't have any ice at Southern Miss. You have to go get ice out of town because the guy that had the recipe died. So,
but what's the line in Animal House?
That was terrible. That's probably one of the worst jokes you ever pulled.
What's the line in Animal House? John Lutarski. He has no grade point average.
That's right.
That's what it is. But the other thing that I was thinking of is, who's making these lists? I mean, let's face it. What do they consider education? And let me stand up for my school here.
No, they specifically said in that article that it was math and reading scores that for Alabama and Mississippi.
No, I get that. I'm talking about the college one.
Oh, okay.
Because here's what happens. They get into all these liberal arts degrees and this, that, and the other, and all this other nonsense, whatever. Let me tell you what Mississippi State does, okay? Very strong in agriculture and forestry. So putting food on the table for us, taking care of animals, and making sure that there's oxygen in the atmosphere for us to breathe. Those things are kind of important. Engineering. So building the buildings and things like that. Those are the things that we are actually really good at and smart at. And, those are kind of important. I'm sorry that we don't lead the nation in these liberal arts degrees. We don't have people with doctorates in the sexual proclivities of Eastern European sloths or whatever the hell they give away up in the Ivy League that they consider educated. So that's what I think of your stupid list, Coach Hale. Yeah. There you go.
Well, Middle Tennessee is one of the few schools that's got blacksmith because of the horse shows and all that. So,
So I
and there's a lot more that goes into that than just taking a piece of metal and hitting it with a hammer. There's actual physics going on there.
This stuff you can get degrees in nowadays, it's just useless. So I love my school.
Tech, but look, we're still going to need plumbers and
I was there.
I know it.
I was there for many years. We had plenty of dumb people there. Don't get me wrong. I was one of them. But I love my school. I think that we do well in the things that matter in this world. So I'm going to stand up for my Bulldogs because we stink at football and basketball, and hopefully we'll be good at baseball.
Baseball season. They're like the Cubs this year. We got it this year, buddy.
There you go.
So
this is our year.
You know, if you go to Haney and go to trade schools, man, you know, you go to air conditioning, auto mechanics, electrician, plumber, you make more than almost all the world.
So, ironically, people have for years talked about how The Simpsons has predicted the future. Of course, they had Trump as president 30 years ago. Well, South Park, which is a much cruder version.
Oh, God.
They ran actually a couple of years ago where it was kind of this notion of the new Elon Musk and Zuckerberg were handymen, because they're the only people who knew how to fix things because everyone else had some useless liberal arts degree.
That's right.
And it was a hysterical episode.
Well, you know how to fool them this time. If you leave a map out and write in cursive, they can't do anything. You know what I'm saying? They can't.
They're totally in the dark.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you who is important educationally in this area. That's J. Michael's Restaurant. What a segue. What a segue. Because today is the day. I mean, you can always get the best seafood. You can always get the coldest beer, but only on Wednesdays can you get their world-famous J. Michael's spaghetti. It'll be packed out there, so make sure you get there right at 11.
Go and call it Biscotti.
Biscotti.
Yeah, well, Glenn wears his.
That's right.
So we're going to have to make sure and give Glenn a red shirt before he goes in there. So it's not,
or a rubber bib.
There you go.
You know.
But J. Michael's Restaurant, get out there, lunch and dinner today. Make sure you tell them you heard about it here.
Good thing about that is you don't have to read it. They have pictures. You just point. So
there you go. There you go. Steve's Bike Shop, my buddy Steve Burdishaw there. Of course, they're getting ready for the Southeastern Swim Championships next week. And I need to call Steve, see if we can get him in here tomorrow. But Steve does a wonderful job with the bike shop. They're on 23rd Street across from Sam's. They've been in business since 1979, and Steve just does a wonderful, wonderful job. You want regular bikes, you want the new electric bikes, you need service on your bike, get out to Steve's Bike Shop. All right, we need to get to a break here because I've gone long ranting on education. We need to talk to a guy who can tell us about Bay High baseball. Coming up next, it's Coach John Hudson. You are listening to the James Hale Show on ESPN Northwest Florida.
You're home for college basketball. ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's Auburn versus Mississippi State tonight. The Tigers are on a 4-game losing streak and looking to get off the skid. We'll have coverage from Starkville coming up at 7:30. Tip-off at 8 at the Humphrey Coliseum. Listen live on your home for college basketball on the Gulf Coast.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Wednesday. Mostly cloudy this afternoon and evening with a wind around 11 miles per hour coming out of the south and the high of 68. Tonight, look for slight fog and mostly clouds with a temperature near 64. Tomorrow, a high around 71 and slight fog in the morning followed by very light rain. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Looking to upgrade your truck? It's Blue Diamond Truck Accessories in Panama City. They sell, service, and install it all. Light kits, bed covers, bumpers, winches, lift kits, and any trailer hitch you can imagine. Blue Diamond Truck Accessories, just west of Frankfort Avenue on 15th Street. Find Blue Diamond Truck Accessories on Facebook or call 850-914-0265. Blue Diamond Truck Accessories, 850-914-0265.
Small acts of kindness make a massive impact. This February, you can help Humble House Ministries continue their vital work in our community. They're collecting essential supplies all month long and need your help with donations of laundry detergent, dish soap, shampoo, and conditioner. Plus office supplies like copy paper, cardstock, and envelopes. Drop off your donations Monday through Friday at Elysian Med Spa on Thomas or Reliable Copy Products on Harrison. Help support Humble House Ministries. Together, you're sharing more than just supplies. You are sharing hope.
It's the Coach James Hale Show.
Bonafide and qualified.
Live and local from the J. Michael Studio.
Certified.
From the Sports Talk Monster. ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back to the Coach James Hale Show here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Brian Haddad sitting in for Coach Hale this morning, joined by Glenn, joined by the Wildcat, and always on Wednesday at 7:15, joined by the head coach of the Bay High Tornadoes baseball team, Coach John Hudson. Coach Hudson, how you doing this Wednesday morning?
Hey, I'm good. Good. Things are going fine, man. I'm up and at 'em. It's another day.
There you go.
Right. Listen, I was
go ahead, Glenn.
Coach, I was really impressed with the ceremony y'all had last night, besides the baseball game. But, I was proud of Mosley for wearing their orange jerseys, and so I thought that was really, really good. The only thing I didn't like, they beat us 6-3, but that's the only thing I didn't like. But
yeah, I'll tell you, Coach, we had a young man that it was just a tragedy, sudden passing of one of our students there at the school. Very popular student. A lot of our players knew him, and he was diagnosed with an illness, and then about 10 days later, just tragically died. So a lot of the guys wanted to go out. The orange was not because we were playing Mosley. The orange was his favorite color,
right.
And the guys wanted to go out there and give him a little tribute. So. It was a really good scene, and I think it was good for the kids. It was good for the family and for everybody involved. And we raised a little bit of money for them for their expenses, medical expenses, and things like that. So, yeah, that was something special.
It was, and I watching you work and you guys work together. I was really impressed with how y'all communicate and get along. And you remind me of me, Coach, and I'm talking to myself the whole time, whether I'm talking to anybody else. But you're doing a good job. I really like the way the kids are hustling, the way the kids their whole attitude about everything. I really like that.
Yeah, it's really come to this. This is year 4, and you really you hope and dream when you get there where we started that maybe it could turn into something like this. But it's really exceeded my expectations, really, as far as the kids and their commitment to the game, and just the way they go about their business. And so with the coaching staff there, like you said, it's kind of like a central command over there. Everybody's got little different jobs that they're doing, and make it work that way. So really excited, happy for where the program is right now, and we're off to a really good start with a really tough loss last night, but it was a great ball game.
We had a little buzzsaw on the mound out there last night, so Yeah, well, we absolutely did, and I will definitely get to him. I wanted to go ahead and mention, the last couple of games since we talked last. We've played a few games. We went to Liberty County on Friday. We went over to Liberty, and we played a little football game over there. Yeah.
21-17 final over there at Liberty. We scored in every quarter. I mean, every inning. We scored every inning.
Wow.
There were no zeros on the board until the bottom of the 6th, and then we our sophomore Ian Knox-Brennan went in and shut them down with 2 innings of shutout baseball. That was about the best you can come up with for that ball game. I mean, we had a lot of guys with a lot of hits, obviously, but we just ready to get out of there. That was one of those nights where you just kind of just put it to bed and move on to the next game. So Monday we went over to North Bay Haven and got an 11-3 win over there. And again, we scored every inning there except the first inning. And I think that's really our 1 through 9. Our offense is good, so you don't have just here comes a 1, 2, 3 up. So I hope we do something here, because the bottom won't do it. That's not the case with our team. I really feel like 3 through 9 they're pretty interchangeable, really, in our lineup there. So we got a good win over there. Camden Havel and Liam Adams pitched that game, and both of them had a rough first outing for us, and so it was redemption day for those two. They both went in there and did the job for us, and set us up for our pitching that we were able to come up with against Mosley on Tuesday. So you play Friday, Monday, Tuesday, and with Tuesday being Mosley, you hope you can have some pitching left for them, and we sure did. Then we got to Tuesday with Mosley, and Ryan Harless is something else. He's a very, very polished high school pitcher. Of course, he's a Louisville commit, and I'm happy about that. I'm from Louisville myself, but it was fun to see him pitch. He really locates the baseball well. He was up to 89 last night. He's got a changeup that's just unbelievable. A new changeup that some kids are throwing, and he's picked it up and he just throws it to perfection. He's really good. So I thought we battled as hard as we possibly could on him. I think he went 6 1/3, 12 strikeouts, and 1 walk, and I think we had 5 hits off of him, and I was, that's a lot off of Ryan Harless,
Yeah.
So really battled him hard, it was just an unfortunate game in some ways with Mosley there. Boy, it was. I don't even know where to go with this one, but it was 6-3 was the score. We kind of kick it around just a hair, and they took advantage of it early in the game. We had, I think we had 3 walks, a hit, catcher's interference. It goes from a 1-1 game to a 4-1 game there. I mean, we had 2 outs, nobody on, and then we, pretty routine bunt play and couldn't make a play on that. And then we, like I say, after that, we give up 3 walks, a hit.
The guy,
it was just one of those innings.
The guy that's hit one right down the first baseline, that was a.
Yeah, that was a killer there. Yeah, we had, they hit a,
hit him where you
hit a ball. Yeah, right-handed hitter just hit a really, it was a hard hit, too. I mean, it was a hard hit ground ball down the first base line, which you just don't see that very often. But it was a perfect time for them, bases loaded, and they get that job done there to go up 4-1. Then we battled back. We held them there. Grayson Gibson did a really good job on the mound. Followed up. We split the game with him and Elliot Richter. Both of them really threw the ball well, but we were at a 4-1 game in I think it was the 5th or 6th inning. And we, once again, they just manufactured some things, I guess you can say. They had first, second with 2 outs. We were 1-2 count on the hitter. We throw a curveball in the dirt, and it goes to the backstop. And our catcher goes back to the backstop to get the ball, and apparently, from what the umpire says, he just turned and tossed the ball into our dugout. The ball was wet. In the night game like that, the ball is wet, and so I honestly was blocked from it because I'm down on the end of the dugout and there's players in the way between me and the backstop. So I saw the ball go to the backstop, and then I saw the catcher walk out back to back toward home plate there, and. The next thing I know, their coach is running down the third baseline yelling at the umpire that he threw the ball in the dugout and didn't get time. So after some back and forth, they decided that, yes, our catcher went back, got the ball, and just threw it in the dugout. And, I find it hard to believe that that's what happened. Our catcher gets the ball. His story is he yelled to the umpire and said the ball's wet. The umpire took his mask off. He thought he had given him time. And so he threw the ball because that's what we do. I mean, we always just roll the ball, throw the ball back to the dugout when it's wet. So, I mean, apparently the umpires agreed that he just that our catcher apparently went back there, picked up a live ball, and just decided to throw it in the dugout without getting anything from the umpire. And
wow,
umpire said he didn't see him. He said he didn't even see the catcher until he walked all the way back beside him at home plate. And so he didn't see him ask for timeout because of the ball. I guess my only thing there would be, why are you not watching a live ball? Why is your back turned to a live ball?
Yeah.
But, again, this for me, I honestly didn't see what happened with the catcher. All I had to go on was what they told me. So that was unfortunate. He just rolled two runs in because they scored runners from first and second on a wild pitch. Both of those runners came in to score. So that made it 6-1, and we battled from there. I mean, we weren't done. We came back in the 7th. We finally got Ryan Harless a pitch count up enough to where they took him out of the game with 1 out in the 7th and a man on. And we came back. It's made it 6-3, bases loaded with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. Really had things rolling. We rallied and just couldn't quite get it done. So, Bollinger for them came in there and he showed a lot of heart and got 2 outs there with the bases loaded and a 6-3 game to end the game for them. So it was a great game. It really had a little bit of everything. It had a little bit of everything to it. And, It's just I really felt like, I think we out hit them. I mean, it was at least dead even on hits. So it depends on whose game changer you're looking at, I think, with that one.
Right.
But it was a great game, and both of us had our best pitchers on the hill. And it was, a packed house. It was packed. Yeah. It was about as many fans as I've seen at a high school game in a long time.
Yeah, the thing, too, is I was really proud of your pitcher because they had to really scratch now because, we got a couple of trouble a couple times. He got out of it pretty good. And then he made some great plays on defense. And, they really had to scratch except when, there was a couple of little miscues there. But I thought you really played them well.
It really wasn't. Yeah, I mentioned an error here or there, but it was honestly, it was both teams playing very hard. They swing the bat well. They've got speed everywhere, and you make one. You're never out of an inning. I think both innings they scored multiple runs. Well, one of them was when we threw a ball in the dugout, but they had I think it was 2 outs and nobody was on base, and then one guy gets a bunt down or it's a one base hit, and then here they go. So right. they have a really good ball team. They're good up and down the lineup defensively, and also, of course, especially when Ryan's on the mound for them, they're going to be hard to beat.
Right. Well, Coach, certainly a tough one there last night, but I think you got another game this week there against Walton, and hopefully we'll get you another win here, and we will talk to you again next Wednesday.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, all right, Coach Hudson, Bay High Baseball.
What a great guy. He does a great job. I'm really proud of him.
Obviously I wasn't there last night. Sounds like an exciting kind of game.
It really was.
89 miles an hour.
Yeah,
what that kid was throwing.
Oh yeah. It's actually, when we talk to Coach Lee tomorrow, I may have a question to him about that because that's becoming. I think these kids are under more pressure to throw harder.
Which means, to me, that means they're...
Which is okay if you teach them fundamentally how. And I think the high school coaches are put in a terrible position.
And how to preserve that arm if that's what they're going to do.
The coaches we have in this county, they're really good. And if you watch both of the kids last night, their mechanics was so good.
Yeah, and that's what's critical. That's what I want to talk to. I wish we had more time. I'd love to ask Coach Hudson his thoughts on that. We got a break, and we got to talk to Dr. Ward here coming up. But I did want to talk about, I went last night out to Pepper's Mexican Grill on the beach. First time I've been to the one on the beach. Had a wonderful time. It's a beautiful setup in there. I wish I could remember the sweet girl who worked behind the bar.
Her name was Margarita.
Yeah, well, that's not why I can't remember her name, but no, it was.
Ryan, sure.
Yeah, well, that's the story I'm going with. But it was a wonderful, wonderful meal. They have great specials there. Get out to Pepper's Mexican Grill. You already know about the one in town, but the new one there on Back Beach, where the old TGI Fridays used to be over there by Richard Jackson. Get out there. They do a wonderful, wonderful job. And then, John, Valentine's Day is over, but it doesn't mean that we're all the way out of the doghouse. Where are we going to go to take care of that lovely lady?
You know, that beautiful gift that you got that special person for Valentine's Day, it just got you in hot water. So now they're having a special on engagement ring and wedding band combinations there at David Adamson Designer Jewelry. Take your old jewelry in there and trade it in on something new, or take the jewelry that you currently are wearing in there and have them do a quick cleaning on it and an inspection. An inspection can save you, and I know, thousands of dollars. Well, hundreds of dollars. It saved me $1,000 because they found a stone loose in my wife's wedding band. So, smart thing to do, and it's all free right there. David Adamson Designer Jewelry, 830 Highway 77 in Lynn Haven.
In Lynn Haven. When we come back, we're going to start the Gator Day. We're going to talk to Dr. John Ward, see what's going on with Florida basketball, Florida football, Florida baseball, Florida badminton. We're going to talk about it all. You're listening to the Coach James Hale Show here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
The only one person more critical than you to make this succeed, this show.
Thank you, Coach. That's so nice.
I was going to say that. Wildcat. You complete me. You had me at hello.
You believe this?
You had me at hello.
What do you want? What do you want?
I'm going to give you a gift.
Yeah.
Weekday morning, 7 to 9. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Your biggest investment is your home. Protect it while also improving its appearance with Earthworks of Northwest Florida. We have sand, mulch, gravel, or lay down decorative stone, all available for pickup and delivery. Discover your dream landscape with Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Imagine the moment you proudly pull up to your home that you've worked so hard for, enhanced by quality mulch, decorative stones, and more. Let's make it happen today. Request a quote online at earthworkspc.com or swing by the office at 2005 Industrial Drive. Love the land you live on.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
Small acts of kindness make a massive impact. This February, you can help Humble House Ministries continue their vital work in our community. They're collecting essential supplies all month long and need your help with donations of laundry detergent, dish soap, shampoo, and conditioner. Plus office supplies like copy paper, cardstock, and envelopes. Drop off your donations Monday through Friday at Elysian Med Spa on Thomas or Reliable Copy Products on Harrison. Help support Humble House Ministries. Together, you're sharing more than just supplies. You are sharing hope.
It's the Coach James Hale Show.
He's the sexiest man on the planet.
Live and local from the Jane Michaels Studio on the Sports Talk Must. ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back to the Coach James Hale Show here at ESPN Northwest Florida. Brian Haddad sitting in for Coach for the rest of this week here, joined by Glenn, joined by the Wildcat, hopefully soon to be joined by Dr. Ward. I don't think maybe the academic rant I went on earlier, since Florida finished high up there, maybe he's upset with me. But
I figured he'd call in and pound me over the loss of Kentucky last weekend.
Yeah.
Because I told him it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, well.
And he laughed in my face.
And then they lost again.
Of course, he was right. Yeah.
You guys lost again.
He's almost right all the time on his picks.
See, here's your problem. See, I actually said on the show Monday afternoon that y'all call me a traitor for. That's even though it's on the same station. I actually said that Kentucky was one of those teams I thought had the talent to, if they got hot going in the tournament, could make a deep run. And now I've cursed them because now they can't win at all.
Aha, and I thought it was my fault for watching the game.
Yeah, no, it's clear.
Usually when I watch the game, it's not good.
So I do want to pivot onto something, and hopefully we'll get Doc here. We'll make every effort to get him here, because I know everybody wants to hear more Gator talk on a Wednesday. But I do want to talk about something related. It's not just college basketball, but college basketball has got me thinking about it, because you had an issue last night where Arizona State beat Texas Tech, and of course, it was an upset, big upset. It's great. Right. For Arizona State, but of course they stormed the court. And then it reminded me of, I think, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, where North Carolina beats Duke, and they stormed the court, and there were some coaches who kind of got roughed up in it, and now it's got a big war of words between Duke's head coach and the district attorney in the county, who was a University of North Carolina graduate, and this whole thing. But we see it in football, too, with the field, and we've had issues with players knocking over students, or students getting in their faces, and this, that, or the other. And I know they're trying to fine these schools, but I'm sorry, a $50,000 fine is not going to dissuade anything. And I'm actually amazed, just with the general litigious nature of universities, that they haven't done more to clamp down on this, because when you're talking about that mass of people into a small space, and you think a football field's huge, not when 60,000 are coming.
Right.
You think a basketball court's got a lot of space, not when 15,000 are coming down. There's so many things that can go wrong with people getting trampled and knocked over and hurt and things like that. And it just, maybe I'm getting older, And it scares me or something. But, I mean, we got to do something about this before somebody gets seriously injured or killed, don't we?
Well, you know, some of the soccer things in Europe, they have these 8 or 9 foot fences with barbed wire at the top. So, but, you know, I'd hate to go to that. But the other thing, too, is when they start jumping off the stands down to the stadium, that's, I mean, we laughed at the kids getting caught in the hedges, at Auburn or Georgia. But, I mean, that's not fun either. I mean, it's... Yeah, I hate the fact because, I mean, I was never actually a part of one. There were a few that went on because, like I said, Mississippi State, we weren't very good. So if we beat somebody, we tended to storm the field. But, you know, I never did it, but I get the exuberance and the fun of it and this, that, or the other, but it doesn't make it any less dangerous. And it just scares the heck out of me. Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong on this. I don't know. What do you think?
No, I mean, I'm all about school spirit, but when you mix spirits, plural, you know, glug, 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 and then you start doing stupid stuff, you're not only affecting your own health and well-being, but the health and well-being of others. And then you start this, you know, like you watch some of these soccer games and the fans cuss and yell and scream at each other. And then you see some of those soccer games where people are stabbing and clubbing and everything. Lord. And so, I mean, it started somewhere. It started with one little prank where, you know, 2 people got, and then the whole stadium starts emptying out onto the field. And before you know it, you got chaos. And there's just not enough law enforcement security to handle something like that. So it's got to be put in check somewhere.
Here are all the things. Look, obviously the worst thing would be somebody gets trampled and killed.
Yeah.
And because that can happen. I mean, people don't realize how easy that is for a crushing situation. Like
I was at the Who concert in Cincinnati when 11 people got trampled and killed.
Exactly.
I mean, at a concert. But so, I mean, at a sporting
just think
event.
about all the things that can go wrong. Just in this day and age where law enforcement tries to do something. Somebody gets pushed back, they fall, hurt themselves, boom, you got this big, massive lawsuit, and everybody's saying abolish the police again. What about you got a tight end who's trying to run off the field and some 5'3", 105-pound girl is in the way and gets run over and trampled like that, and now it becomes this giant thing with that. Like you said, the college student who's been drinking, having a good time out there is excited for his team. He decides, I'm going to come up and get in the face of the 6'10" center and go, ha, 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 we just beat you. And that guy's just gone through, you know, a battle, and he doesn't want to hear it. And he just rears back and back elbows the kid into oblivion. And now there's so many.
They should just stick to streaking. And leave it at that. Just stick to streaking.
Harmless fun.
That's right.
I don't know. I hate it because I just feel like I sound like such an old man, you know, screaming at the sky with this thing. But it worries me to death because there's just so many things that can go wrong. I'm actually amazed more hasn't happened yet. And then let me go on another rant on this. Since I'm doing that
Rant
today.
Away, Brian. Rant
Look,
away.
I grew up a North Carolina fan. My grandparents lived up near there. That was a big thing for me, you know, and I love the University of North Carolina. I watched the UNC Duke game every year for, God, I don't know how, but huge game. North Carolina is not an aggrieved party in this rivalry. I mean, North Carolina's won multiple national championships as one of the blue bloods college basketball. I'm sorry, if you beat Duke...
All right.
You don't storm the court. You know who storms the court if you beat Duke? Chaminade.
That's right.
Or Alabama A&T, you know, or Florida Tech. I mean, it's just unreal. I don't understand it. It's like, Glenn, if Florida State beats Florida, you don't storm the field. You should beat them. That's what you think.
That's
you know?
right.
So,
Speaking of misbehaving, I got somebody on the line. It's not awkward, but they want to chime in on this.
Well, all right. Well, I like the tease there, misbehaving. Let's go to the phone lines. Who do we have with us here this morning?
Mike, it's hump day.
Well, that's misbehaving.
Definition.
There's a Mississippi State solution to this.
Okay.
You know, y'all are great foresters.
Mm-hmm.
I think Forestry Suppliers is the leading catalog there behind whatever.
Yeah.
But just get some axe handles and some JV football players to line up around the basketball players.
There you go. I like
That's how you do it, brother.
I thought you were going to bring cattle prods, but we can do those too.
That's insane.
Well, that's the next step. That's more.
That's the second line.
Or you could bring out the water hose. Bring out the water hose with them.
Yes, like they did at Auburn when they had to spray those rednecks from Georgia.
Yeah.
Anyway, not that there aren't rednecks at Auburn.
Mike, am I taking this too far though? Because it worries me.
No. As a former lawyer, I think that the lawyers start drooling when that happens. Because it can go both ways.
Yeah.
It's like one of my golfing buddies. She said she was against gay marriage, even though she got married. And I said, you know why lawyers like gay marriage? She goes, no, why? I said, gay divorce. Anyway. Hey, how about Kentucky? I got to put it on John,
We got to take a break now, Mike.
Yeah, I got to go. Bye. Go ball.
I love the hit and run. That was great. Mike.
Not going to come on there and badmouth
What a character.
I love it. Well, he may not be on the phone with us. We're going to keep trying during the break, but I'm going to talk about Dr. John Ward, and dermatology specialist. Look, skin cancer affects so many, and especially in our area where we're out in the sun all the time. But 1 in 5 will develop it in their lifetime. Don't contribute to that statistic, and it's so easy.
And when it comes to cancer, catching it in time is very, very important.
That's exactly right. Wear your sunscreen, reapply, but more than that, early detection.
Yep.
Get out. If something doesn't look right, doesn't feel right, change in shape, color, size, whatever, get out and see Dr. Ward and the fine people there at Dermatology Specialists. If you're listening to us right now, there is an office near you. He has 8 area convenient locations. That's Dermatology Specialists and Dr. John Ward. Max Fit Sports Nutrition. Jason Kovaleski and the crew, and the crew, because he's got a wonderful staff of people. I heard you yesterday talking about the girl out on the 23rd Street location who did a wonderful job with you.
She was just a plethora of knowledge, and I thought Jason was pretty up to date on everything. I mean, she's up to date on the stuff that's coming up and coming that will be very exciting for some of us old farts.
That's why they don't. That's why they don't just sell you something just to be selling it to you. They want it to benefit what you're doing.
Well, and the beauty is you can try it before you buy it there. And it's not just for the up and coming young athletes, although it's wonderful for them. I did stuff with Jason and the crew when I was coaching the swim team, and we'd have them come out and do things with us. We'd go in, do the in-body, and do several things like that. But also just for us regular folk, if you will, who just want to drop a few pounds or get healthier, things like that, just go out there. He's got 2 great locations, one there in Pier Park North next to Dick's Sporting Goods, one on 23rd Street next to Granny's in the Del Coronado Village. Max Fit Sports Nutrition. Get out and see them today. When we get back, we either got Dr. Ward or I'm going to rant about something else. You got to stick on the line to find out.
Remember, that phone line is 215-6290-215-6290.
Oh, we'll talk about the cartels next.
ESPN Northwest Florida is taking it to the hole. Your home for the most live college basketball in the Gulf Coast. The ACC, SEC, and the biggest games in the country. Plus the official station of March Madness.
The Panhandle's destination for live play-by-play.
Hear every slam dunk in ultra-high fidelity right here.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Wednesday. Mostly cloudy this afternoon and evening with a wind around 11 miles per hour coming out of the south and the high of 68. Tonight, look for slight fog and mostly clouds with a temperature near 64. Tomorrow, a high around 71 and slight fog in the morning followed by very light rain. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
With over 4 decades in business, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to take your collection to the next level. All new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia and supplies, new and vintage cards and Pokemon. Buy, sell, and trade. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards inside the Stanford Station on 23rd Street next to Academy Sports. Come see the bigger store and the larger inventory, or visit online, instantReplaySportsCards.com.
Small acts of kindness make a massive impact. This February, you can help Humble House Ministries continue their vital work in our community. They're collecting essential supplies all month long and need your help with donations of laundry detergent, dish soap, shampoo, and conditioner. Plus office supplies like copy paper, cardstock, and envelopes. Drop off your donations Monday through Friday at Elysian Med Spa on Thomas or Reliable Copy Products on Harrison. Help support Humble House Ministries. Together, you're sharing more than just supplies. You are sharing hope.
And here we go. The #1 SEC call-in show is now twice as big. The Paul Feinbaum Show. Weekday evening 6 to 10. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back into the Coach James Hale Show on this fine Wednesday morning here. Unfortunately, Doc Ward not going to be able to join us. He had something come up. He said it was disdain for me. No, never mind. I'm not reading that. No, I'm just
8
kidding.
locations. It's not hard to believe that something.
Yeah, really, exactly. But no, we love Doc Ward, and again, definitely get out and see dermatology specialists there if you see anything that doesn't look right, doesn't feel right. And Glenn, let's go deeper into this IMG issue. So you had brought it up in the first segment here, but maybe a lot of people weren't in their cars yet here.
Everybody in the state of Florida knows who IMG is. They're right. Actually a sports academy, and what they do is they get people from all over, and they actually house them there, and they'll have 2 or 3 football teams, 2 or 3 basketball teams, and they try to get kids into mainly Division I, but they have them places to go. And so they actually turned themselves in, but they were being investigated by they had some kids pay tuition, and the tuition for going there sometimes, if you're not on some kind of scholarship, is like $97,000. And so these 2 young men who were there for 4 years, they somehow have ties to, when they got the tuition money, to drug cartels.
Well, the kid's last name being Escobar. No, I'm just.
Well, I know, yeah, but anyway, so so one of the things was they were not only for FHSA. This goes a little bit bigger. The Office of Foreign Assets and Control. You have to go through them when you get outside money from outside the United States.
Yeah.
And so they kind of went after them for these 2 students, and so to have these people kind of connected to a cartel. Now, I've always thought they had connections to China. I don't have a lot of proof,
Sure.
But the thing is that some of the money they come up with, unless you got kids that have real big money to come in. But so this is gonna hit some other people. So I don't know what, like St. Thomas Aquinas, Chaminade, and like you go out to California, out there, St. Bosco, and some of these big private schools, Monteverde
Academy,
yeah. So sometimes they don't play. They don't play in the FHSA because they travel all over.
That's right.
So and if you're going to play somebody like that, you have to get permission to do it anyway. So this is just a thing that they came in. One of the things that helps them, though, is they actually turn themselves in. So they're going to get fined $1.7 million. I'd have to hate to go and tell my athletic director or my principal, we got to write a check for $1.7 million.
Yeah, I don't care what kind of money you make. Stroking that check is not fun.
No, somebody texted me yesterday as a joke, said, give me the cartel number, so we need money at our school.
That's new NIL there. Well, at least they paid the tuition in cash and not in product.
That's well, yeah.
Or we're thinking.
That's right. So, but anyway, so when you have to go to school, you have to pay $97,000 to $102,000 per academic year.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. And so anyway, but they've placed over 150 kids into college that go on to professional ranks, and so they provided their own statement. They're the ones who committed to. They're saying they're committed to go back, and they actually turn themselves in. We don't know what all the other sanctions are going to be, but I know that's a big little check there. So that's just one of the things, and it's one thing to be getting on them to be a private school, but when at this day and age, when that gets tagged on your name, there's some other issues coming up.
Oh, yeah. No, that's crazy.
I just wanted to let people know it wasn't just that, they're all sitting around, the cartels are flying stuff in. They just got the tuition money from somebody that's tied to the cartel.
Well, that's how they disguised a delivery. They dropped a couple of kids off at school.
Yeah, right.
But, we joke because we care.
Yeah.
I did want to get into this. This was just kind of interesting. I really I'm not a Winter Olympics guy. It's not anything political. It's nothing with I don't get a lot of cross-country skiing opportunities down here in Florida, but except last year, apparently. but it's just not my thing. It never really has been. But I did take note of this. So Johannes Clabo, I believe is how you say it, won his 10th Olympic gold medal. He's won 5 at this Olympics. He's 29 years old, and this 10th gold medal came in the men's team sprint. So again, like I said, it was his 5th gold medal of these games, making him the second athlete, only the second Olympian across summer and winter to have achieved at least 10 gold medals. Do you know who the other one is? And why would I care?
The Winter Olympics?
Well, across winter and summer.
Ooh, summer would be a swimmer.
That's correct.
So it would be
Michael Phelps. Michael Phelps is the only other Olympian with at least 10 gold medals. Do you know how many gold medals Michael Phelps achieved from 2004? Well, actually, his first Olympics was in 2000. He didn't medal, but then through 2016.
20.
23.
Wow.
So he's got a little ways to go before he takes over the top spot, but he does have the number 2 spot on that all-time list. But, I mean, that's amazing.
That's impressive.
10 gold medals in general. 5 in 1 games is impressive as it is. So that was really cool. So, again, I don't watch a lot of Winter Olympics, or really haven't watched any at all. I'm a little bit aware here and there. I'm aware of the figure skater having the bad showing, unfortunately.
And then we had
the men's hockey team doing really well so far.
And the ladies, the women's hockey team.
Oh, the women's hockey team is very good. But I did like this story because I thought it was neat that this was the second athlete to get to 10. And then I thought, wow, Phelps had a lot more than that. And then I went and looked. I didn't realize it was 23. Right. So it's unbelievable. It was crazy. So that's pretty cool. So generally, you ever really get into the Winter Olympics?
I like to watch the bobsled and the luge. I like to watch that, and then the ski jumping when they come off the thing. Did you see where they got in trouble for making the waist or where the crotch is bigger to make?
I was wondering how you were going to say this.
Well, to put more material there to make it more aerodynamic. Who would think?
I don't know. John had his finger hovering over the delay button. I was curious.
You scared me there, John.
I know, but
I did. I actually read the story.
Who thinks of this stuff? I mean, if there's a way, somebody's going to try to cheat.
Yeah.
And we had cheating in curling. How do you cheat in curling?
That was the craziest thing in the world. I mean, that was because there was some serious back and forth going there. You don't accuse a Canadian of cheating, apparently. No. He was hot. But
but you know, the biathlon or whatever it is where you ski and then shoot the rifle, I may could win that because it depends on how many bullets I have. I don't know where those other guys went, but I'm first.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's how you win. That's how you win. You take out the competition.
We had one of those machine guns.
What about you, Wildcat? You ever been a big fan of the Winter Olympics? Or
no, honestly, no. No.
The figure skating used to be back during the Cold War period. The joke was a Soviet judge gave you a 5. I mean, we always had that going.
Well, I had read a story where there's apparently controversy as it relates to ice dancing, which I didn't know was a thing. I just thought that was
see me doing it.
what happened when you got drunk in a snowstorm. But apparently there has been a French judge who has been several times accused of very strong scoring for the French team, and there was a bit of a controversy over the French team and the American team and the French team.
When I get out on the ice, that's exactly what it looks like.
Dancing, trying to keep your balance.
My feet and legs are going everywhere.
Wildcat with a goal. Didn't even know what he was doing.
That's right. I could run that one.
He said, hold this, I may drop my beer.
I was always aware, and I think you're right. I mean, there were, some of the figure skating in the past, occasionally the hockey every now and then I would watch. I never really got that into. I've heard skeleton is crazy cool and insane fast.
When they do the snowboards,
but I don't know
and they flip over and do all that stuff. And of course, downhill skiing doing about 70 miles an hour.
The skiing scares me, and honestly, it's things like what happened with Lindsey Vonn. That looks so bad. I just don't have a stomach.
You don't have any breaks
anymore.
when you decide.
I'll start watching when they put pickleball in there.
Pickleball.
That's about the only sport I've even
Ice pickleball. That's the next one.
Either that or cornhole.
There you go.
I can do those too.
Yeah, those are called the Senior Olympics. But, let's talk about some more of our great sponsors here on the Coach James Hale Show. TK Vandy. Oh, man. TK Vandy, roofing and contracting there. Kyle Vandergrift does a wonderful job. Of course, the whole Vandergrift family, they're superstars in this area, but Kyle does a wonderful job with that. You have any kind of issue with your roof or general contracting needs, make sure you call the fine folks there. He's not going to be able to join us this Friday, unfortunately, but you can get a hold of Kyle by calling TK Vandy Roofing and Contracting. Patrick Garner and the crew at Turf Pro Pest Control. You want to make sure that your yard is the talk of the neighborhood for all the right reasons. You want those unwanted pests and insects out of your yard. You need to call the fine folks there at Turf Pro Pest Control. They are the absolute best. They'll make your yard look as good as Augusta National in April, Glenn.
There you go.
So call Patrick there. And I love talking about this because it reminds me of when I first started coming on this show, so many painful years ago. And that is Cox Pools is back with us. Richard Cox and the crew. They do a wonderful, wonderful job. Great pools. They can design them for you, everything like that. Everybody in this area knows Cox Pools because they are superstars and have been for years. And they are back with us. Make sure that you call Cox Pools today for all of your pool needs. Well, we're up on the top of the hour here. When we get back, we're going to have a very short Alabama segment. That makes a lot of you happy, but we've got a surprise that we're going to talk about next here. So make sure you come back and listen. You're listening to Coach James Hale Show on ESPN Northwest Florida.
You've read the headlines. You've seen the highlights. But how about the unfiltered truth?
Steroid era, you can like it, love it, hate it, whatever. It's a baseball.
Since 2017, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida has been the undisputed leader for sports coverage on the Panhandle. If it matters in sports, it matters to us, and it matters to you. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Wednesday. Mostly cloudy this afternoon and evening with a wind around 11 miles per hour coming out of the south and the high of 68. Tonight, look for slight fog and mostly clouds with a temperature near 64. Tomorrow, a high around 71 and slight fog in the morning followed by very light rain. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Coin and Bullion Reserves is now Coin and Bullion Reserves Fine Jewelry, a new name that reflects what we do best, fine jewelry and diamonds. Same trusted service for over 50 years. Coin and Bullion Reserves Fine Jewelry at 15th Street and East Avenue. Coin and Bullion Reserves is now Coin and Bullion Reserves Fine Jewelry, a new name that reflects what we do best, fine jewelry and diamonds. Same trusted service for over 50 years. Coin and Bullion Reserves Fine Jewelry at 15th Street and East Avenue.
WGSX Lynn Haven WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Are you living with chronic pain, anxiety, or sleepless nights? You don't have to just get by. You deserve to thrive. At Thrive Alternative Medicine on Panama City Beach Parkway, Dr. Laughlin and counselor Suzanne Clark provide a compassionate path to relief. From medical marijuana card certifications to professional mental health counseling, managing conditions like PTSD, chronic pain, and the complexities of cancer. Book online at thrivealternativemedicine.com. Thrivealternativemedicine.com. Find the relief you deserve.
He doesn't always go the extra mile. But when he does, it's because he missed the exit. It's the Coach James Hale Show. Live and local inside the J. Michael Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Filling in this morning, it's Coach Brian Haddad.
Low tide.
Thanks, Glenn. Roll Tide, roll. This is going to be the greatest Alabama update for most of our listeners here because we actually have very little Alabama to talk about. But we do want to say thank you to our Alabama segment sponsor, and that's Steverson Air Conditioning. Starting to warm up a little bit out there, so we need to make sure that we're talking to Jason and the crew there at Steverson Air Conditioning because we know how it's going to get in a few months. When we steamy and sweaty, and we need Steverson Air Conditioning. They're the best. Go local, Steverson Air Conditioning. The extent of my Alabama update here, Glenn, is tonight, 6 p.m. on ESPN, Alabama hosting Arkansas. So number 20 Arkansas coming to town. As far as we know, Alabama not playing with any G League dropouts this time. They're just playing with college kids. So good luck to Alabama, and hopefully tomorrow we can
might win this one.
That's right. Yeah. Hopefully we can do that. But what I'd much rather do today is talk to our guests that we have in the studio with us today and talk about the Warrior Beach Retreat. So we have Jonathan in here. Philip's kind of hiding from us, but that's okay. And then Linda Cope, I believe the director of
I'm the founder and
president
yes.
of our Warrior Beach Retreat. So I really just kind of want to turn it over to you. Kind of talk to us about, a lot of people are aware of this, but just more details about kind of how this got started and what you guys do with the Warrior Beach Retreat.
Well, we're grateful for you all having us on today.
Sure.
Thank you so much. We started this about 17 years ago after our son lost both legs above the knee and wounded his hands by an IED blast in Baghdad, Iraq. And we saw what families go through. Yeah. And there's a lot of groups that are wonderful, but they mostly focus on the wounded warrior. But we saw the caregiver. They need support.
Yes.
Too. And so on the retreats we've done, we do 2 big ones twice a year and then actually 3 smaller retreats that they go on to strengthen their marriage. We focus also on the caregiver, which we feel is so important. But we couldn't do what we do without the support of this community. Yeah. And, you know, we are Grassroots America, not affiliated with Wounded Warrior Project. And if you ever want to donate, you can do it on our website, warriorbeachretreat.org. But coming up next week, the Warrior couples come in the 24th through March 2nd, and we have the parade February 26th, and it's all on our website, the times and locations to get on the parade route. But we're going to probably have the best speaker we've ever had that night at the Boardwalk Beach Resort. His name is John Wayne Walding, U.S. Army Sergeant First Class, and he was what was it? It was
Green Beret.
A Green Beret.
Wow.
Thanks, Jonathan. And he was fighting in Afghanistan on the mountains. Those that know about Afghanistan, and they were under fire, and his leg got blown off, except about an inch of skin. Well, he pulled his boot up into his crotch and fought for 4 more hours.
Unbelievable.
And there's a lot of mountains there, so he had to roll down the mountains fighting for 4 more hours. So, of course, he's been to the White House. He has all kind of awards, but he's a devoted Christian man. And we're honored to have him. Lieutenant Colonel Alan West is the one that got him as our speaker, and he's pretty much become a fixture of our organization. We are honored to have him want to be a part of it. So he's going to be here to introduce him.
Well, it's amazing, obviously, and you know, we know, and you well know, there's such a military presence all along the coast, but certainly in our area here with the bases and everything like that. And so it's just a wonderful event. But I love what you said about, you know, there are organizations that rightfully make sure and
Yes.
take care of our wounded vets, but the caregivers. And talk about kind of the impetus for that and kind of recognizing that they need the support too, because unfortunately I do think sometimes that does get overlooked because there is so much trauma as it relates to the injured servicemen or servicewoman. So.
They're not the same when they come back. And the spouse knows it more than anybody. And it's like a rock thrown on a pond, and there's a ripple effect. And it affects us. It affects everybody in the family. And there's battles, silent battles that go on behind closed doors that are really hell, because PTSD is terrible. And there's like 23 a day that take their lives, not 22. It's grown. The number has gotten bigger. And we are grateful. God gave us this vision. There's nothing like this in the nation. And it's our community that has allowed us to do this. When you have all the people that line the streets, but the caregivers have a tougher role, I can almost say, than the veteran. I really believe that, because it's a new normal that never ends. It never ends.
Right. That's one of the reasons why I asked Glenn to come in the show today. Was because he is a vet.
We're grateful for this community, and we ask people to line the streets next week on the 26th, warriorbeachretreat.org for the parade route and information. And come to the ceremony at 7 p.m. at the Boardwalk Beach Resort. It is free and open to the public. And the nice thing is, after, you have the opportunity to personally shake their hands and thank them. And John Wayne Wilding and Colonel West will all be there. But we are very grateful for the support we've gotten from businesses that say, hey, come here. They can go for free while they're here. Pretty much every business on the beaches. And it's a time for them to reconnect as a couple and to heal. We have a chaplain couple that's a part of it. They're here for a week, and they have to get here, but we pay for everything once they arrive. And that's why donations are much needed and appreciated. And we are, asking for that and thankful for the community. But thank God for Tommy Ford and the sheriff's support with all the police and the escorts. They graciously donate, they ride the parade route.
Right.
But they have a blast. I mean, they go zipping by. They're glad to do something that's positive. They're not chasing a criminal,
That's the good procession. Down the road.
I think we had more police cars in the last parade than we've ever had, which was phenomenal. And then graciously, Tommy Ford, unless it's needed somewhere else, is going to have their helicopter flying over the parade, which makes it more special. And then the Navy and the Coast Guard are going to line the fence in uniform, saluting them.
Wow.
When they go by. And in the front of the parade, we have 5 Vietnam veterans and their loved ones. Because anybody that knows, my dad went to Vietnam and Korea. They got tomatoes and everything thrown at them.
Glenn sitting there was in Vietnam. So, thank you for your service, by the way, Glenn.
Here's the thing that people don't understand about coming back from Vietnam. When my dad was in World War II, they fought. He came in right after Normandy. They would fight for 2 or 3 days, and there would be a front. Okay, so then you go back, and other people would take your place, and you maybe rest for a week or so, or 5 days. Then you go back.
Oh, wow!
So when you're over there is no front.
No.
And so the thing is, plus when my dad came home, they put them on a ship. So for 2 months, they were with guys that went through the same thing, and they got to talk about it. So it took us 25 hours to fly back to the United States. You don't get to talk to anybody.
No.
And so that's it. So little things set you off, like a noise or something that, and so it really and truly, when you see anybody, you should thank them. And I don't think people realize what everybody goes through. And even with the PTSD, it's just, I have to catch myself sometimes. I used to tell my students, if you want to pass a note, pass it real slow, and I won't move. If you pass it fast, it's going to catch my eye.
Yes.
So
you were in Vietnam?
Yes.
You look too young to have been in Vietnam.
I'm 77.
We appreciate your service.
Right.
We appreciate your service.
Thank you. I was actually a medic, so.
Oh, you saw more than most.
Yeah, there were some things that. There's a lot of things that happen that you don't really want to talk about.
No.
But that stays with you.
It does.
Well, and I think that's some of the unfortunate nature that our Vietnam vets had to end up teaching us is like you said, when they came back, there was no structure for that. There was no, and I think we've learned through the sacrifices of so many of our Vietnam vets who struggled so badly when they came back. Here are things that we need to do. But it got me thinking earlier when we were talking about the caregivers, it's got to be, you mentioned how sometimes it's tougher on them. Obviously, they don't have the physical issues to deal with, or like you said, the triggers, things. But I would think just the uncertainty of you don't necessarily know what happened over there or everything. And so you're doing your best to try and help and provide care. And it's got to be just so troubling in that you don't know where to step, where not to step, how to.
True.
But you have to be there.
Yes.
And it's just such a wonderful thing that you people do with this. And again, one more time, talk a little bit about the parade, kind of where the parade route kind of will be, because I know there's a lot of our listeners who are going to want to come out and see that.
And thank you so much for coming out, because most of them went from the battlefield to the hospital to home.
Yeah.
Never got a hero's welcome.
Yes.
And they're in their individual cars with their magnets on the side, with their flags, and they're driving down the road weeping.
Yeah.
We give them each a box of Kleenex, and they go, "What's this for?" And when they see the support of this community, it brings a healing and a closure they hadn't gotten in years.
Right.
But it's February 26th. WarriorBeachRetreat.org has all the details for the parade route, the times, locations. We're leaving from the JCPenney parking lot near Pier Park and going to go, all right, my favorite husband, where are we going? Thomas Drive.
Then by the Navy base.
By the Navy base.
The bridge.
Cross the bridge.
Come back across the bridge.
Under the bridge.
And come back across the bridge again.
Over the bridge again.
So you thought you weren't going to be on the show.
And then
Down Front Beach Road to South Thomas Drive on, and end up there at the Boardwalk Beach Resort.
I guess you heard all
the way to the Boardwalk Beach Resort.
But it's an hour-long parade. But I just want the community to know, if they're standing out there with just standing there.
Yes.
Right.
That is huge.
Usually the bridge is packed.
Yes, yes. It would be great to see that. And don't think your being there is not huge, not making an impact, because it is.
Yeah.
And they get out of the car after the parades, and then when we have the group picture, they're going, why? Because the makeup's all run off their faces. And men, that's why they're in their car with just their wife or caregiver. Men don't like to cry in front of other people. And some of them get a good cry that they hadn't had.
Right.
And, but you were talking about PTSD, the triggers are there, and you have to be sensitive to those with them. And like, we go to a restaurant and they're all wanting to sit with their back against the wall.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they want to look at the doors.
That's right.
And that's hard to do when you have this big a group, because we have 8 couples coming in from all across the country for a week, and one coming from Puerto Rico. So it's good. And we have my son Jonathan, who helps us big time. He's gone to Bible college. And
the thing is, the bigger thing these guys need is encouragement.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And if they don't have it, they're going to feel lost in not knowing what to do.
Yeah.
The
worst injury is all is being forgotten.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's profound.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That is profound. True. And you can't imagine how many feel that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Until they come here.
Yep.
And we know, just being around us, how much, especially in a military community like we are, how much it means to us that people serve and do protect our freedoms and all that. And we need to make sure and get out there and show that support, because that will mean so much to these veterans. Just to know that there are people who are appreciative of our efforts and understand that what we're doing for others is so important to these vets. So I encourage everybody possible to get out there and do anything you can. Like you said, you're local. You need donations. This isn't part of the national thing.
No, it's not.
But just be on the parade route and just show the support, and that will mean so much to these veterans. So
then if you can go to the ceremony at 7:00 at the Boardwalk Beach Resort. And we don't go long. a lot of people, I'm one of those, you start on time, end on time. And so we're pretty much over at 8, but then you get to shake their hands and thank them personally.
It's an absolutely beautiful thing.
This is a healing place. Bay County is a healing place.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. Thank you so much for everything that you guys do for our vets and all like that. Again, we're going to keep talking about this. We're going to drive as many people out to this and try and get you as much as we can. Philip, got you on the show. Sorry. Philip, Jonathan, Linda Cope, thank you guys so much. And I got to say, this has been the best Alabama update we've ever had. Thank you all so much.
That you had us. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Again, Warrior Beach Retreat. Thank you guys again for coming in. There's nothing else I can say to that. We're going to head to a break here. You're listening to the Coach James Hale Show on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Weather in the Panhandle never stops. Turn to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast.
We're up to the minute weather reports all day long.
A chance of thunderstorms and moderate rain.
In-depth storm coverage.
Hurricane Helene.
And breaking weather as it happens.
We do have a tropical storm warning.
ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Wednesday. Mostly cloudy this afternoon and evening with a wind around 11 miles per hour coming out of the south and the high of 68. Tonight, look for slight fog and mostly clouds with a temperature near 64. Tomorrow, a high around 71 and slight fog in the morning followed by very light rain. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
With over 4 decades in business, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to take your collection to the next level. All new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia and supplies, new and vintage cards, and Pokemon. Buy, sell, and trade. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards inside the Stanford Station on 23rd Street next to Academy Sports. Come see the bigger store and the larger inventory or visit online, instantReplaySportsCards.com.
Small acts of kindness make a massive impact. This February, you can help Humble House Ministries continue their vital work in our community. They're collecting essential supplies all month long and need your help with donations of laundry detergent, dish soap, shampoo, and conditioner, plus office supplies like copy paper, cardstock, and envelopes. Drop off your donations Monday through Friday at Elysium Med Spa on Thomas or Reliable Copy Products on Harrison. Help support Humble House Ministries. Together, you're sharing more than just supplies. You are sharing hope.
From the Vortex Springs to the Bear Paw Canoe Trail. From Shell Island to 30A. We're your home for live sports. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michael Studio. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Brought to you here on the Coach James Hale Show by Beef O'Brady's up there in Lynn Haven. Look, we always talk about going out to Adams and Jewelry and getting some nice stuff there. But while you're there, why not go over and see Pat and the crew at Beef O'Brady's? All you've got is great food, great TVs, and the friendliest staff in town.
Listen to this little segue. It's a jewel of a restaurant.
Oh, Glenn.
That's why Glenn makes the big bucks. Right there. I'm telling you.
And not to mention no traffic and plenty of parking.
And lots of onion rings right there, John.
Man.
But you got to get there before John because he'll be gone.
Darn right.
Not much of an Auburn update today because we're going to talk to Andy Burcham, the voice of the Auburn Tigers, tomorrow. Hopefully for Andy, not so much for me, talking about a win because the Auburn Tigers are on the road tonight. You can catch that game actually right here, ESPN Northwest Florida. They're going to be playing at Mississippi State, so they're going over to the hump. Ooh. And they're going to be playing at Mississippi State. Kind of the nature of Mississippi State being 12-13, 4-8. Glenn, you can get tickets for as low as $8. So Auburn, a 4.5-point favorite tonight on the road. Auburn does need to get a win here because they've kind of been on this little little downward slide here in basketball and kind of on the bubble a little bit. So a win here would mean a lot for them, and hopefully we can call that tomorrow. But let's pivot over to Tallahassee, and let's talk a little Seminoles.
All right. Well, I was going to tell you I could get to $8, but the gas price to get over there.
A little more than $8.
Over and back. Yeah. Listen, I want to tell you that last night in FSU Sports, there was a hat trick done, and you would think they lost 3, but no, they won 3. There was 3 games that won last night. So softball team, they played Louisiana. They won 8-0 in 5 innings. So they're now 9-2, and then Louisiana was 6-3, so they're now 6-4. And we are number 5. We moved up. You know, Tennessee jumped to number 1 after they beat us 9-1, and then Texas Tech lost, I think, to Nebraska. So they flipped it around a little bit there. Mm-hmm. So they won last night, and coming up Friday and Saturday and Sunday is kind of different. I think Coach Brandt talked about it yesterday, but on Friday at 3:00 they'll play Dartmouth, not Dartmouth, but Dartmouth. So, and then at 5:30 they'll play Alabama. And Alabama usually comes down, and we go up there, so it's a good rivalry with those guys and everything. Yeah. And then on Saturday at 12:30 we'll play Dartmouth again, and then at 3 we'll play Alabama. Then on Sunday at 12:30 we'll play Elon. I don't.
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. Yeah. No. Actually, so anyway.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, that's a good crossword puzzle. What's Carolina school with 4 letters besides Duke, so that's a good one. Also in baseball last night, we played in Jacksonville. We won. The score was 13-3 in the 6 innings, and so we are now 3-0, and Jacksonville is 4-1. So, and then coming up, we're going to be playing in Arlington at the MSC banking tournament, and we will start out Friday by playing at 12 o'clock. We will play Michigan, who is 3-1, and then on Saturday at 4 o'clock we'll play Auburn, number 6 Auburn. They are 3-0. That'll be played at 4 o'clock. And then on Sunday at 3:30, we will play Nebraska, who is 3-1. And so we are ranked number 12 right now. So congratulations to them. Men's basketball. I was listening to it last night.
Yeah.
I was going, here we go again. Okay, we're down 13 or 14 points, something like that. So then I was at the baseball game at base. So I said, okay, I'll just turn this off. Turn it back on. We're ahead. So I said, wow. So maybe I should quit listening.
Yeah, really.
So anyway, in the basketball last night, it was FSU 80. It was Boston College 72, makes us 6-7 in the ACC and 13-13 overall. And we'll be at Clemson on Saturday, game starting at 11 o'clock. Women's basketball is 9-17 overall and 4-10, and they will host on Thursday at 5 o'clock, California. And then I guess California and Stanford, are making trips this way because Stanford will play Sunday at basketball at 12 o'clock against the ladies at FSU. And then Monday and Tuesday we had a big golf tournament out at Shark's Tooth. It was the Water Sound Invitational. There were 12 teams there. Some of them were nationally ranked. It would be Vanderbilt, FSU, Auburn, Arkansas, Ole Miss, Kentucky, TCU, Mississippi State, Michigan State, Alabama, OSU, and Navy. So those had quite a big things there. And Arkansas and Auburn are really ranked, and FSU is up there. And and the girls are in there too. And they're getting ready to start. They're on the winning trail, and so congratulations to all the FSU people. And that's what's going on. I just really didn't want to get into football yet because they're in the throw-up season. You know how?
I do.
When I was at Middle Tennessee, we did back then. They had you as long as they wanted you, so we go in there with a mat drill kind of thing, and one of the kids goes, "Oh, good, we have a trash can store trash away." That ain't what those trash cans are. That's
not what that's for. Well, let's go to the phone lines here. We got a little bit of time here. Let's talk to one of our callers. Who are we talking to this morning?
Hey guys, it's Tony, the Clemson fan.
Hey, Tony, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm all right. Had a setback in life, but I tore my shoulder last year, had shoulder surgery, and they tore it again in physical therapy.
Oh.
That's what I call physical therapy.
Yeah.
Are they going to pay for the new one?
Yeah, my insurance, and they're talking it out. But, I came to the realization of life that, I'm going to have to stop doing some things I've done since I was 12 years old because my shoulder may never heal right. And it's kind of strange. I never thought I'd be an athlete that is looking at, back at stuff and going, wow, I can't believe I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like a shock, something I've done since I was 12 years old, and now most likely I'll never do it again.
Well, wait till you get to the stage where you try to put your pants on, you can't hold your balance. You got to put your hand. You got to put
Glenn, I'm already there.
You got to put your hand on the wall so you can get
join
your
the club. You won't be alone.
Real quick, Sports Illustrated saying this will be Dabo's last year at Clemson.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Will that be Dabo's decision or Clemson's?
I think it's going to be Clemson.
Wow.
I don't think Dabo will leave there. I don't see him walking away. I see Clemson buying him out. And
interesting.
You know what Clemson had on their log the other day? John Gruden as the new Clemson head coach.
I love Gruden, but he's clearly got one of those agents like James Franklin had, where Gruden's been the next head coach of 42 different schools in the past 3 years.
I know.
Yeah. That'd be something. I love Gruden. And he's a guy I actually think would translate to college very well.
Yeah, I think he's one of the few NFL coaches that could go somewhere, recruit well, and win, just pretty much off the bat within a year or two.
Yeah. And he's one who, despite his age, he's got an unending supply of energy, it seems. I mean, I could see him thriving at the collegiate level if he gets a shot. So it'll be something.
It'll be something. If you look at it, I mean, really, what coaches are out there that could even replace Dabo Swinney, what he's done?
That's it.
I think Dabo needs to hit the reset button at Clemson and figure out how to right the ship.
Yeah.
And he'll be all right.
Yeah. No, I agree. And he's done a wonderful... That's always the thing. It's always easy to say fire the coach. It's that next step is where it's difficult, so...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All these Clemson fans are saying, get rid of Dabo, but who are you going to get to replace him?
Yeah. Well, Tony, loved hearing from you. Hate that you're going through all that. I really hope that stuff with shoulder ends up going well, and you don't have to come to those harsh realizations and all. But always love talking to you, and we'll definitely keep up with you as the Clemson thing goes on.
Yep, I will let you guys know if something else develops, and I'll call in and let you know. But I think they're just dragging their feet on the Ole Miss thing, the NCAA. They don't know how to handle it.
Yeah.
They don't know what to do about it, so they're just trying to let it die down.
Yeah, there may be something to that. I think you may be right. Thank you, Tony.
All right, you guys have a good one.
All right,
buddy.
You too. That was great. Real quick.
He needs to go see Dr. Mitchell.
That's right. He does need to go see Doc Mitchell. Real quick, for those of you, and spoiler alert, so those of you who do watch the Winter Olympics but watch in prime time, if you don't want to know something here, click off quickly and come back. But since we talked about it earlier, I did want to share this because it's breaking news. Michaela Schifrin, who is the most decorated alpine skier of all time, but has not medaled in her last 8 Olympic starts and had a really scary crash a year or 2 years ago that's had her set off. In her final Olympics appearance, has won gold in the slalom.
Yeah, baby, go!
USA! 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 And Newbies. We want to thank Newbies for sponsoring the FSU update. Glenn, as always, providing us a great FSU update there. So when we get back, we're actually going to go and talk some Gators for once. Glenn's little tail's just a wagging here.
Yeah.
We're going to talk to Mark McLeod next. But before we do that, this is for you, Mark. FSU! FSU! Florida State! Florida State! Florida State! Woo!
Taking us ESPN Northwest Florida with you everywhere you go.
Anytime, any place, anywhere.
The Sports Talk and Live play-by-play doesn't have to end when you get out of the car. The ESPN Northwest Florida app streams your favorite Sports Talk hosts and the biggest games in ultra-high fidelity.
This is of utmost importance in travel.
Take the Sports Talk monster with you anywhere you go. Available for Android and iPhone.
Use it anywhere or any place.
Good luck surviving the off-season, football fans.
At first I was afraid, I was petrified. Football's over, it's like a part of me just died inside. 200 days till football's back, but tonight I won't just cry, cause I've got a ways to play. And that's the place with Hard Rock Bet, I will survive.
Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
At Brock Lawn and Pest Control, we're proud to be awarded the distinction of being Quality Pro certified.
Our technicians have passed rigorous training in eco-friendly application and prevention of pest treatments.
Part of the program is the practice of integrated pest management.
IPM's goal is to prevent pests from ever entering your home. It includes inspection, prevention, education, and, when necessary, application.
We're proud to be Quality Pro certified.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control, the standard and level of trust.
Full residential and commercial projects from start to finish. Wheelhouse is ready to help. From the moment you have the thought to build to the moment you step through the front door of your finished project, Wheelhouse Consulting and Engineering will walk you through all of your aspirations. Engineering, site plans, live architectural design, construction, 3D rendering, permits, and more. Wheelhouse Consulting and Engineering, 850-896-6597, 850-896-6597, and online at wheelhousedba.com.
Better buckle up, Buttercup. There are no participation trophies here, just pure sports. The Coach James Hale Show live from the Jane Michaels Studios.
Gen Z snowflakes.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
When you got 90,000 people all chomping at the same time.
The Florida Gator Update with guest Mark McLeod. Insider information you can't get anywhere else. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Sorry, I just can't.
Off the floor, go.
I can't get in on that one. I'm sorry.
You're so bitter after that loss.
Yes, I am.
That's unbelievable.
Yes, I am.
All right.
Hey, we'll take it at Mississippi State. You'll get used to losing. But anyway, go into that. We have the pleasure, as always, here on Wednesdays. I just get to do it from the big chair today of welcoming in the man, the myth, the legend, the local boy made good, Mark McLeod. Mark, how you doing?
Hey, doing well, Brian. Good to be on with you and Coach.
Hey, I have a question before we get started.
Here we go.
The rumor is that now you can actually outrun Coach Moon. I'm just checking on that.
I lost you guys.
Uh-oh. You there, Mark?
Yeah, I do. I hear you now.
I said the rumor out there is, and I want to know, he said you can now actually outrun Coach Moon. I just want to know if that's true.
That's the first time ever, yeah. I can do it backwards right now. In about 2 weeks, I don't know if I can do it backwards. So.
Oh, my goodness. Well, Mark, I want to start with this just because I do, and that's what it is. But at 21 years old, I may have had 5 majors, but I wasn't on my 5th school. So the gentleman who was following the T.J. Finley model for success, Jaden Rashada, my new backup quarterback at Mississippi State, apparently, has settled his lawsuit against Billy Napier and Hugh Hathcock. It doesn't. It is hard reading in this whether the school was involved in that lawsuit or not. What do you know about this, if anything? I know it's just broken recently.
Yeah, I mean, the lawsuit itself, Billy Napier, Marcus Castro-Walker, and Hugh Hathcock were the 3 defendants in that one. So, and it comes down to, because of the collective and everything going on there. So the school can't directly be part of that, or wasn't directly part of that. But, with that, I don't know amounts. I don't know anything about that. But obviously, the young man got paid. He got paid some money, and it was a bad look for Florida, a horrible look for Florida, who had really gotten off to a pretty good start in NIL in the collective stuff, the collective world, I should say. They got off to a good start, but then just everything really tanked, and especially with the Rashada situation. You can't tell a kid you're going to get this and have Castro Walker tell him whatever he told him, and then all of a sudden pull the money and say, well, we just don't have the money to pay you. It's just not good.
Yeah.
So it was a bad look for Florida, but thankfully it's a chapter that's over. And interestingly enough, again, this was finalized when Billy Napier had already moved on. So this was I think the Gator Nation, Brian, is glad to put it to bed.
Do you think that's just something that's going to be happening more and more as these guys get paid more and more, that all of a sudden colleges are going to realize, you know what, we overbid, we don't have the money to do this? You think it's going to happen again?
Yeah, I do. I think there's a real possibility of that. And look, you've got it looks like some of the things with NIL is actually calming down a little bit in terms of what schools, the amount schools are putting in. But then you hear these amounts like $40 million. Look, Texas Tech was $28 million last year. Texas Tech, it's just insane. But now the rumor is that even coming out of Red Raider Nation that no, things are going to calm down a little bit. But those were the reason it was $28 million, because those were first-time contracts. There were a couple 3-year deals there that were pretty extensive. No 2-year deals was what I understood. But again, I think all schools are trying to navigate those waters. But it's gonna go again, guys, because as some of these hotshot freshmen, these 5-stars, come next year, they're going to want to get paid. They're going to want to be paid handsomely.
Gosh, I have a hard time paying somebody who's never been on the field.
Yeah. Well. And, another caveat to this is I think that's why so many kids we've seen recently reclassify early. They're all afraid this gravy train may end, whether there's congressional intervention or a commissioner or something, this, that, or the other. I think they're all reclassifying, trying to jump on this as quickly as possible.
Yeah. I mean, you've seen Mike Elko make comments.
Yeah.
You saw Mike Elko's comments. He said, we need someone to run the show. And this is what I've been harping on. I'm not going to get into it because you guys are sick of me saying it for 2-3 years now. But the NCAA has dropped the ball. And, yes, something has to be done to fix all of this. And nobody is stepping up and doing that. And, look, you've got players openly. Last season, finally, you're starting to hear more and more players come out and say, well, I've done this, and just what Brian said earlier, you got freshmen now. Yeah, man, freshmen wants to get paid more than I am? I don't think so. And you got players telling this to their friends, and it's going out on social media. They're putting it maybe on Twitter and then deleting it later, but they got their message out, even temporarily.
Right. Well, if you go back to Texas Tech, they spent $1 million on a softball pitcher.
I think they got they got every penny of value out of her too.
They did, but
that was the best money they've ever spent.
I know, but just for one player.
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Kind of dovetailing on this, the whole issue of paying the players. Now, I read it briefly. Mark, you may know more about it, but I guess he was talking to an alumni club or something like that. But John Summerall was talking recently about this, and he was talking about dealing with this new era of things, and he said the way he approaches it is, when they start complaining, players, about things being too tough, it's like, you're getting paid. And I think the line he used was, shut up, bro.
Yeah. Don't you love that?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no other way to approach it right now. He's telling these guys, and he said this repeatedly, as you say during the interview, look, you're a professional. Act like a professional.
Mm-hmm.
Deal with things as a professional. Quit complaining and that it's too hard and this and that. What do you think it's going to be at the next level? But you're already at this level. You're a professional, so treat it. And you're getting paid. Treat it like a professional. So he's right.
Yeah, I'll never forget, coaching swim, and we knew all the head coaches, and we were the number 2s at the time, and I remember complaining about something I was having to do to one of them. He goes, all you guys tell us is you want more responsibility, you want this, that, or the other. That's what this is. Go get it done.
There you go.
And it was one of the best pieces of advice I'd ever heard. He was right. It's like, it's exactly what you just said about Summerall. You're a professional now. You're getting paid to do this. The days of you whining and complaining are over. Go get it done. Or as he said, shut up, bro. I loved it.
Yeah, and look, it's a whole new roster at Florida. I mean, there's a lot of new additions, a lot of new faces. So, I mean, you had what did Florida have? Goodness gracious, they had 9 players on a bad Florida team. You had 9 players that were invited to the NFL scouting combine, in addition to all the guys that transferred out. So it's a new day in Gainesville.
Yeah, absolutely right. It's something else. Well, let's get into it here before we get into what we had last night, just because I want to see his head explode. Let's talk about this Florida-Kentucky game.
Let's not. Let's go to a commercial break now. And, pause for station identification.
Gators got on it early. I guess if there's any worry at all, and look, they were somewhat in control, but, did give up 49 points in the second half. Now, it was a high score and a half, but I guess that'd be the only thing maybe coming out of that, because I do think that's a pretty talented Kentucky team they took care of over the weekend.
It's miscommunication.
Yeah, really. Yeah, it really is. And you saw Golden get a little jab in there at Kentucky, with the money they've spent on their basketball program versus Florida. And he kind of threw a little dart there, but Florida is just looking pretty good overall. Now, last night, South Carolina, it wasn't the win that Florida had earlier over the Gamecocks, but with Kentucky, that's a big win. That's a big win over Kentucky. And of course, we know at the end of the year that's going to be a monster game in Lexington, because this is a good Kentucky team. They just haven't put it all together for whatever reason.
That's right.
But yeah, you look at the things that Florida was able to do against Kentucky, 10 of 28 from the three-point line. That's a good shooting night from 3 for Florida. It really is. And of course, the rebounds. I think they had 45, 46 rebounds against Kentucky. They just did some really nice things, and they didn't really turn the ball over very often either. So Kentucky, I think, had 14 turnovers, and I believe Florida had 11 in that game. So Florida did a lot of good things against Kentucky, and the backcourt, you can see it developing, although, again, last night, poor shooting night beyond the arc for everyone except Thomas Hawk. But Florida's improving. There's still some work to be done, no doubt.
Yeah, that was the 2 things that I got impressed with Florida is the backcourt has gotten better. Even if they're not shooting better, they distribute the ball really well.
Yeah.
And then to clean the glass on the defensive side, that's only giving them one shot is really what's kind of improved a little bit.
You're exactly right, Coach, and those are great points. And also, I'll say for last night, I mean, Alex Condon, we had a big Alex Condon sighting. I mean, he's coming through, and he led the game, in points. And you just look at what he's kind of had his struggles. Teams have focused on him a little bit, tried to take him out of the game, and they've had some success doing it. But that's opened up things for other guys,
right? And
particularly, there's been a bit of an emphasis from teams to try and collapse the Florida front court and kind of, maybe not out physical them across the board, but change it up and do some different things and make them think and make them come out a little bit more. But the backcourt, I think, for Florida, as you said, Coach, that's a major point of emphasis for the Gators over the last, I'd say, week and a half to 2 weeks.
Absolutely. Well, Mark, we got to head to a break here. We're going to hold you over, and we'll get more into basketball, and then I want to talk about some Florida baseball as well. But definitely just, we've had such a full show. We've kind of been everywhere. We've been Warrior Beach Retreat. We've been Winter Olympics. We've been IMG housing cartel members or whatever.
Breaking news.
We've had all kind of things going on in this show, but I did want to just thank all of our sponsors again. Jay Michaels, Steve's Bike Shop, David Adamson Designer Jewelry, Peppers Mexican Grill, Dr. Ward, Max Fit, TK Vandy, Turf Pro Pest Control, Cox Pools, of course, Newbies, Steverson Air Conditioning, and Beef O'Brady's. Without them, the show would not be possible. So just definitely want to thank them and get out and support them and tell them thanks for sponsoring our show. We come back, more with Mark McLeod, more on the Florida Gators. You're listening to the Coach James Hale Show on ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Sports Blitz.
I think Arch Manning's in the wrong situation anyway. I don't think Texas is a good quarterback coach, but these kids are too small these days, these quarterbacks. They got to get in the weight room and they got to bulk up. It's not the steroid age anymore. I understand everything, but if we get another pain in the SEC, it's over. People eat your lunch all day long and make you pick up, pull your britches up, tie them up yourself.
The Sports Blitz.
Live and local, weekdays, 4 to 6.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Wednesday. Mostly cloudy this afternoon and evening with a wind around 11 miles per hour coming out of the south and a high of 68. Tonight, look for slight fog and mostly clouds with a temperature near 64. Tomorrow, a high around 71 and slight fog in the morning followed by very light rain. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Small acts of kindness make a massive impact. This February, you can help Humble House Ministries continue their vital work in our community. They're collecting essential supplies all month long and need your help with donations of laundry detergent, dish soap, shampoo, and conditioner. Plus office supplies like copy paper, cardstock, and envelopes. Drop off your donations Monday through Friday at Elysian Med Spa on Thomas or Reliable Copy Products on Harrison. Help support Humble House Ministries. Together, you're sharing more than just supplies. You are sharing hope.
Discover Kia at Bill Bird Kia. Stop by Bill Bird Kia during the President's Day sales event going on now and drive away in a new Kia. Now offering 0% APR for up to 48 months on the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Telluride. There are a few left on the lot, so stop by for a test drive. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. The road is yours. Bill Bird Kia is the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKiaPanamaCity.com. We'll give you the perfect peace of mind that you can trust. Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Telluride with $20.83 per month per $1,000 financed in 48 months. Quantities limited, no down payment required. Cannot combine with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers must take delivery from dealer stock through 3/2/26.
Stay out of his lane and stay off his yard.
Believe me, this man is a menace. He's always drinking, starting fights.
The Coach James Hale Show live from the J. Michael Studios.
Don't turn it off!
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back to the Coach James Hale Show. Brian Haddad sitting in with Glenn, with Wildcat, and with Mark McLeod. Mark, outside of our fine program here, how can people listen to you?
Just give me a call, Brian. Give me a call anytime. I turn the phone off at 10:30, though, and except for Coach Manley. Coach Manley and I will text. Sometimes it gets pretty late.
It does. A lot of shenanigans.
He rips off some wonderful jokes and sends them my way, and I love it. So
that's where they're all going.
That's it.
So you don't bring none here.
Careful how you say ripped off. That could be something else.
Oh, my gosh.
No.
No,
a
absolutely.
lot of taco.
Well, I did want to ask you one more thing as it relates to basketball. Well, actually two. Real quickly with this and then bigger point later. So, obviously, Florida was able to empty the bench last night. Big win against South Carolina. Yes. But typically what I've seen more of this year, and I think we've talked about this before, Florida seems to be mainly 7-8 guys deep in what they like to do. Do you think that's going to follow through or do you think as we get closer to it, knowing that Florida is going to obviously make the tournament, do you think we'll see more guys playing?
No, I think you're right. I think 8 guys is about what you're going to see for Florida. That's going to be the bulk of your minutes. Mm-hmm. And, that's, it's not entirely a bad thing. I think last year they really ran 9 totally. Yeah. When you look at that roster, they ran 9, and some people would argue 10. I would not argue 10.
I agree.
But, you got the schedule sets up. You got Ole Miss coming up. You got a big game in Austin against Texas, and then, of course, Arkansas. Before Mississippi State and Kentucky. So there are some good things on the schedule ahead. And, the key is, can Florida get to 25 games right now? I think right now everybody would say that Florida is a 3 seed. Mm-hmm. But, can they improve and maybe get to that too? That's going because there's some big games coming up where they could possibly impress some folks to do that.
You said something earlier that kind of piqued my interest. It's something I've been thinking for a minute here. And so, Coach,
that's the first.
I know, exactly. That's about all I can think is for a minute. Since Mississippi State was 16. Oh, no. Well, we'll get into the Mississippi State finishing last in academics later again. But so, Coach Golden, it was weird. A year and a half ago, seemed kind of soft-spoken. Maybe we just didn't know him that well. Had the weird allegation situation, which I still contend was a shot at Strickland and not Golden. And then wins the national championship. This year's become a little more outspoken. Has been kind of a media darling with some of his brash statements and things. But here's my question. I think right now everybody kind of likes it, but is he getting dangerously close to maybe crossing that line because he's throwing more and more jabs out here and there? And the only danger with that is you tend to become a focal point, and then, there's just that much more. Everybody wants to beat you. You're the bulletin board material. Do you think he's starting to dance a little close to that line, or do you think he's still in the honeymoon period of having a voice, if you will?
That's a great question. Is he doing it in part to take the jabs and everything on himself and avoid his players getting, targeted? Because we've seen that. We've seen it, they've gone at Condon, they've gone at Hott, stuff like that. They've gone at the Florida backcourt guys, especially Boogie this year.
Sure.
Earlier this year, Boogie was a target. But I wonder if that could be part of it, Brian. I also wonder if maybe he's just, we're starting to see the true Todd Golden and who he really wants to be. A little bit more like Spurrier, because he is not like Billy Donovan in those respects.
Right.
But maybe a bit more like Steve Spurrier.
Yeah. Well, it's just interesting when you'd mentioned the jab at Kentucky. It got me thinking more about that. All right, let's get over to the diamond here because, after that first game, I thought about texting and going, you lost to UAB, just pack it in. It's all over. No need to play out the rest of the schedule, but Florida's ripped off 3 big wins in a row, and I think are starting to look like more of the team we thought they might be. What are it's obviously unbelievably early, but what are your initial thoughts on Florida baseball?
Yeah, and it goes back to what we talked about last week. You had said, who are some of the guys? And I said, we know who's in the lineup pretty much, but we don't know the pitching. I can't tell you outside of 2 or 3 starters.
That's right.
Certainly you had a starter struggle against UAB. Kevin O'Sullivan, though, is back. And that was the point last week is, you got new assistant coaches. Kevin O'Sullivan was suspended early. He's going to be back eventually. And I think now you're seeing a Florida team that's starting to come together. And what a story last night that was, wasn't it, guys? You had Kyle Jones, the leadoff hitter for Florida, center fielder, who started 62 games at Stetson in center field. And last night, the Hatters come to Gainesville, and he is blast a grand slam to help Florida get that 12-2 win. I thought that was a really neat story for him. The 2 teams will play again tonight in Gainesville. And interestingly, Coach Kevin O'Sullivan starting to, now that he's back, he's starting to make some moves. And he said, you're going to see a bit of a different lineup tomorrow night. He goes, we got to get some guys who haven't played yet in these first 4 games and move them, and let's see what we got, And I think that speaks to your question last week that, who else is there? And I think Kevin O'Sullivan, we're at the point where he needs to see who some of these other guys are and who some of these freshmen are as well.
One of the great advantages we have in the Southeast when it comes to baseball is that obviously weather-wise everybody has to come to us, but through kind of a unique quirk of even that schedule, Florida's first game outside the state of Florida, and they're not all in Gainesville, but their first game outside the state of Florida is March 20th when they go to Tuscaloosa. And that's got to be great, though, with, Coach O'Sullivan. He's got everything relatively close to home where he can try a bunch of different things. It's neat.
Yeah, it really is. I don't know that I like it per se, but that's pretty much a typical February schedule for the Gators. Right. They play a lot of in-state people, and they just don't travel out of state in February or even early March. But But like you said, boys, March 20th, I believe that is for that Alabama game. I mean, goodness gracious, that's a long time. You will see them early, make a trip to Miami or do something here or there. Maybe, but maybe an early season trip to Tallahassee, which is awfully tough. But it's going to be interesting. I think that this is a team where they and look, Kevin O'Sullivan talked about during fall ball. They got to find some guys. They got to find some, especially in the pitching rotation. And of course, you got Moss and your guys from Arnold there. Yeah. I hope to be able to see them in some of these midweek games.
Absolutely. Well, Mark, always love talking to you, and we will speak to you again next Wednesday.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right, the great Mark McLeod.
Absolutely.
Glenn, want to thank you as always. I think I'll see you again tomorrow, maybe Friday and all like that. Wildcat.
Thank you for coming in. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Again, keep Coach Hale and family in your thoughts and prayers and everything. And don't forget, guys, the Warrior Beach Retreat. This is a wonderful, wonderful organization. Had a great time talking to them earlier. They're not part of the national group. They need your help, need your support. WarriorBeachRetreat.org. We'll see you tomorrow.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents the most college basketball.
Three-pointer, push it in. College basketball is back.
The Panhandle's destination for live play-by-play.